One, the writing update, and then two, I want to tell you about the actual YouTube experiment, tutorials on like how to revamp your channel, how to relaunch. After being completely dead for 4 years, I feel like that's pretty good. Guys, welcome back to the vlog. I know I owe you quite a few updates. Since you are smart and creative, you probably caught on to what I was really doing the last 90 days. So with my vlog content, I was vlogging a 90-day writing challenge. But what I was also doing was a 90-day YouTube test. If I post 3 videos a week to YouTube, what will happen? This vlog is a two-pronged update, the writing update, and then two, I want to tell you about the actual YouTube experiment that I was doing here, because if you watch YouTube, you're probably interested in YouTube, and maybe you want to start a YouTube, maybe you're a writer who wants to join AuthorTube, so I'm going to tell you everything. But I also want to update you on the book signing. The book signing in Oklahoma City, if you'll remember, I had very low expectations. Hometown crowds are weird because you will have people who have known you since middle school who still see you as like the girl they went to church with. And then you'll have people from college who know you as whatever your major was. I have been doing content creation for over a decade. And back in the day, I was doing my entrepreneur interviews, which you can see on this channel in the olden times. And some people, follow me from that. I was kind of like, just expecting it to be a mixed bag of people who were not really hardcore about the books, not really ready for my comedy. Then on my way there, it starts to rain. It becomes perfect stay home and read weather, which is like my worst nightmare. The parking lot was abandoned. And then you guys, the venue was super weird. Now the bookshop was not weird. It was really cute. But next to the bookshop there's like this antique shop. And then in the back is like a wedding venue with very strange stuff on the walls. I was freaking out.
Hey guys, we got here real early this time. Last week we felt like we were not early enough. Yes, I'm holding a piece of gum in my hand and eating some nuts and littering. Now I'm like, we got here too early because I just have time to like walk around and get nervous. But I kind of like rearranged the entire room. This is a little event space they have next to a wedding dress shop next to the bookshop, all in like one room, kind of divided up. So we did some rearranging to make it feel a little bit closer and less like a wedding. And now I'm just going to review my jokes and then people will start getting here any minute. So let's do it.
People did not start getting there any minute. No one came until right before. So at this point, it's like me and my mother-in-law and sister-in-law. And I'm just like, oh, this is going to be awkward and embarrassing. And I mean, just the closer we got to go time, the worse I felt. I was wrong. I was completely, my sincerest apologies to the people of Oklahoma City, the good people of my hometown. It sold out and it was so fun and it was the hottest crowd I've ever had. Like they were all in on my books. Everybody who came was so excited to read the next books. They had read most, if not all of my existing books. They laughed at every single joke. I will say the venue was super weird and I lost money on the event. We talked about this in my last vlog. Every bookstore is different. Every author does it differently. Every event is different. But you need to know that when a bookstore orders books through Ingram, which is the big national distributor, which is the same thing if like Barnes & Noble goes and orders a bunch of books from some author, some well-known famous author, they're gonna go through Ingram. Well, that's the same place that I put my books, is Ingram. Well, you need to know what your wholesale cost is and shipping. Remember, shipping is a nightmare. So I had priced the books and we priced the tickets for the Oklahoma City event wrong. So when it was all said and done, I owed the bookstore money. It was my fault. I have learned a lot from the last two events. And throughout the next coming year, I'm going to vlog all these different types of events that I'm doing. So I have some more stand-up comedy events, but some of them are directly tied to a book release and some of them aren't. And it's like a book conference, and then one is like a sales market affair that's not for books. It's like for all handmade, unique gifts. And then I have a writer's conference. So I have a lot of different stuff going on in 2026. But let me tell you what I learned about vlogging. You got to really get into the habit of setting up a camera and leaving up a camera at all times. My phone was constantly like being drained of battery, out of storage space. My computer was suddenly out of storage space. If you want to vlog and you want to document your life, you better prepare for that and get into a habit of it. And I am still getting in the habit of recording everything. And I'm still trying to figure out the boundaries with my kids. Yeah, who's that?
Mama.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Yep. They are starting to get used to me just having a camera up, but there are some things about them that I don't share, that I don't want people to know. My oldest daughter wants to be a YouTuber. She would get on and tell you her entire life story. This is not a family YouTube channel. That's what she loves to watch on YouTube. They're very entertaining, like YouTube family vloggers. And so I think she would love for us to be that. And we do have a unique story. You know, we're a family of 8. You know, the adoption makes us very unique, but I don't believe kids understand that. I don't think those kids have consent. I just don't know enough about like when they're adults and they look back on that, you know, and they're already going to be exposed having a mom in the public sphere. You know, that's enough. That's enough. So that's my tip. If you're thinking about relaunching your YouTube, revamping your YouTube, starting a vlog, be prepared to maybe have multiple cameras or an old phone of yours, multiple phones. Get a better microphone, make sure that it's actually charged and working every time, and set up different angles. Like vlogging, the vlog can just be really boring because like you're sitting at your laptop typing. It's not very interesting. So let me know if you want to know more about vlogging. Now, I need to tell you, even though the Oklahoma City event was not a success financially, it was a huge success overall because of the audio. I got such great audio of my entire comedy set and their laughter.
He said I'm not allowed to say that. He heard me rehearsing and he was like, you can't say that. Of course, the girl who's like vlogging her entire existence on the internet marries someone very private. But he said that. He's like, you can't say that. And I turned around and I said, honestly, you tell me right now that the day I started reading and writing spicy books was not the best day of your life. And he was like,
a small room that was filled to capacity with women laughing so hard. That is what I need to market myself to grow my comedy show. So I want to grow myself as an author and I want to grow myself as a touring comedian. Eventually, y'all are gonna be with me. Wherever you live, I'm gonna come to your town because you've been supporting me. And we're gonna go to a small theater and I'm gonna do a stand-up comedy show and then a Q&A, and then we're gonna do a signing and sell books in the lobby. This is the vision. I need both things. I need both. Here's why you should come to an event and get ready to laugh, and proof. I need the social proof of the laughter. And the second thing I need, great books and book sales and great reviews of books. So I'm doing two things at once and I'm documenting it on YouTube. And in 2026, we will see how it all goes. If you are interested in relaunching your YouTube, let's talk about my channel, okay? Before this 90-day challenge, I had 26,622 subscribers. It had been 4 full years since I had uploaded a video, and my previous content, like the bulk of those 26,000 subscribers. Most of them came from my interview talk show, which was The Pursuit with Kelsey Humphreys, and then I renamed it to The Kelsey Show. When I renamed it and relaunched it as The Kelsey Show, I started adding in variety content. So comedy sketches about entrepreneurship, being a working mom, parody songs, because the original dream was that I was going to be a singer, and someday I still would love to be able to sing in the middle of my comedy shows. Like someday, maybe I'll bring that back in, but I kind of made my channel a variety channel, but the bulk of the subscribers were really there for the interviews. So this is entrepreneurial, creative people, fellow YouTubers, other writers, a lot of nonfiction writers, a lot of public speakers. So that is who I had, and the channel had been completely dead for 4 years. So I did, look at YouTube tutorials on like how to revamp your channel, how to relaunch. I looked at like, should I do a bunch of shorts? Should I do long form? But it really came down to like, what do I want to share? What do I want to put out there? And what came to me was my podcast. And if I was going to do a podcast without interviews, just Kelsey for now, then I was going to do a YouTube podcast, because why not?
Greetings and happy Christmas. It's your girl, Kelsey Humphreys, back with another edition of the Happy Tears podcast.
I started with that. I'm just going to tell my story, because we have a really crazy story personally, like my family, and then I have a crazy story professionally, because I've done 1,000 things and I failed at 999 of them. And then the books were like a smashing success. And so talking about all that, I felt like was interesting and worth sharing. So I started with the Happy Tears podcast. The first video that I brought back was the new channel trailer. And then the very next video was the Happy Tears podcast. Okay. As I started to think more about, I should really use YouTube as a tool to connect with people, especially since my Facebook is gone and Instagram is very hard to connect when you only have 24 hours to have a story. And, people are not even used to liking on Instagram anymore. Like they might share something to a DM, but like people are very reluctant now on Instagram, just the way the app has changed. They don't hit like and they don't comment anymore. And so it's, I was putting a lot of effort into Instagram and just seeing less and less and less engagement. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to really try to revamp this YouTube channel. So I had my podcast, then I added this vlog, which you saw. And then I added writing tips, like actual tips for other authors. And those videos have done the best. And I also added some shorts. I tried chopping up my podcast and putting it vertical and doing shorts that way. I took some of my most popular comedy sketches and short bits from Instagram and TikTok and put them on YouTube as well. I really had no strategy when it came to shorts. I still don't even know what I'm doing about shorts. I didn't really think about shorts. Okay, so let's set those aside. In 90 days, my channel is already monetized again. I'm already eligible back in the YouTube partner program. Like all of that had expired. So I had to redo all of that. You have to get to a certain benchmark of views and uploads in a certain amount of time. You have to send them so you can get your physical address. Like you have to verify your identity and it has to be mailed to your house. I'm already monetized again. In those 90 days, I have gained 204.6, so almost 205,000 views. 205,000 views and 8 hours of watch time and 1,900 new subscribers. After being completely dead for 4 years, I feel like that's pretty good. My goal was 3 videos a week when I started this 90 days ago. That's 39 videos. I made it to 34. And all of those videos were between 15 and 45 minutes long. 34 out of 39 is not bad for what I have had going on. I mean, fall as a family of 8, I probably, I like to set aggressive goals. So I knew 3 videos a week was going to be aggressive, and it was, and I almost got there. I did post 20 shorts, but like I said, there was no strategy there. I was just trying different things with my shorts. I said I had a 7% increase in subscribers in 90 days. But if you've kind of been paying attention to what's going on in YouTube and everywhere, social media sites, it doesn't really matter the subscribers, followers, fans anymore. What I did get was a lot of engagement about writing and writing tips. I got a lot of comments about like, hey, how are you doing this and being a mom? I got so many comments of people who were like, thank you for talking about this and being a YouTuber and documenting it and not being like young and hip. Not that I'm old and lame, but I am like old and lame. You know what I mean? I mean, I am in suburbia with 6 kids. Every week gets derailed. I did my 90-day writing, which I'm going to update you guys on the 90-day writing. But you know, every weekly goal I set, I didn't hit. I am different. I am different in this YouTube, AuthorTube, creative entrepreneur tube space. Because I'm not young, single, pursuing like, you know, my writing at a cafe in a city, like that is not me. And I love those channels and I watch those channels, but it sets me apart. And so I got a lot of comments about that. People said they're enjoying the podcast, even though it's like my lowest engagement. You know, obviously podcasts have the audio portion also. So I do that and have those numbers separate. Let's get around to the 90-day writing challenge. The whole point of what I was documenting, right? I did edit book 1 in my trilogy. I did edit book 2 in my trilogy, but I only wrote a third of book 3, and the goal was to finish book 3. I did write an entire novella for a different series. That was not in my 90-day plan, but it was good that I did it. It was like I was launching a book and realized, hey, I have this novella that's almost finished, or I had started it. I should do this. And I did it, and it has been good for growing my email list. The goal was 10 weeks-ish, 84,259 words. How many words did I actually write in that time? 51,821. That's like what, 5,000 words a week in 10 weeks? That's not good, in my opinion. I mean, I like to write a lot faster than that. I want to be much more productive. I want to be, you know, a well-oiled machine. But at the same time, as writing those things, I was also documenting and doing almost 3 videos every single week, doing the audio podcast. And then just to give you an example of what my life is like, if you are new here, this week we had a day where we woke up to vomit everywhere. Then we had a day where we had to go up to the school because one of the kids had peed through all of their clothes. They're little. They had their backup clothes. They had peed through those. So we had to go up to the school, which is not close. And we had to go all the way up there just to drop off new clothes, new pants and underwear, and drive all the way home. Then I had an unplanned Zoom call. I am preparing for 5 different Christmas parties.
Oh, there goes Mr. Humbug. There goes Mr. Grimm.
5 different teachers with 5 different sets of, here's what we're doing for our holiday thing. So one of them has a stocking and he's got to take stocking stuffers. One of them, everybody brings socks. One of them, everybody wraps and brings a new book, and they do a book exchange.
Humbug.
Then today, while I'm recording this, I had a whole plan for today, and the pre-K building had a plumbing issue and they couldn't open. So my youngest daughter just couldn't go to school today. So she's down the hall on her tablet while I'm recording this. Every week gets derailed, and that's why I'm passionate about documenting what's going on with my career, my business, my creative business. Because if you are someone who is, you know, either drowning in children, or you're going to school, or you have a job or multiple jobs, or you're caring for a loved one, or you're dealing with chronic illness, or all of these things that are like not cute, right? It's not the vibe. It's not aesthetic. Listen to me when I say that you can miss your goals and limp along and still achieve so much. Like, I hope by the end of 2026, you know, to have, I'll tell you in January, my whole plan. So come back to the channel, hit like, subscribe, and come back to the channel where I'll be documenting and trying to grow my YouTube channel because I want a deeper connection, trying to get people to come to live shows, and trying to get people to buy, read, and review my books. Those are the 3 things that I'm doing. And I want you to see that there will be so many weeks where I miss a video upload, or I don't get the podcast done, or I don't hit my writing goal. Something crashes. I mean, this year, one of my books, you know, I launched the book and I accidentally forgot to click Kindle Unlimited. which crushed the launch of that book for the first few days, which then messes up your ranking in the charts, which then messes up your sales because I forgot to click a button. Like, you know, and why did I forget to click the button? Probably because 4 children were hanging off of me at the time. This is what I want to show people. It's never too late, because I did not, you know, I started writing at what, 35, 34 years old. I was like, oh, I'm going to try writing a novel. You know, I didn't just decide at 16 or 19, like I'm going to be a writer. Wanting to be a professional stand-up comedian, that's weird. That's a weird goal. And trying to document how to do that is something very different. Comedians only do it one way, and I'm not doing it that way. So I might fail, and we'll all get to watch it here on YouTube.
Ill-fated Hindenburg on her last flight sails over New York.
I'm very honest. I love an overshare. We love an overshare here. You know, I tell it like it is. I'm not sugarcoating the fact that I'm not reaching my goals over and over. I've given up on trying to look cool. We're not doing that around here, okay? We are doing the things that get us to where we want to go professionally and personally, along with all of our personal obligations. It's very rare that someone, you know, falls in love with their chosen career very early on, stays in that career, crushes it in that career, goes on to get millions of followers and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then they vlog it all. And then, you know, like Gary Vee, who starts the vlog, which was like totally, I mean, back when I interviewed him, he had just started Daily V. He had just begun vlogging, and like Casey Neistat was new at the time, like all of that. But those people made the coolest vlogs. They were already successful. And they had like wives taking care of everything else behind the scenes. That's my update, you guys. I am still hoping that before my kids go back to school, January 6th, I get my Romantasy trilogy done. Is that going to happen? I don't know, because we're headed into Christmas break and the kids will be home.
Humbug.
But I'm really hoping that I will continue to find pockets of time and write quickly and write well in those pockets. And someone asked me to do a video on time management and how I am as productive as I am, even though many weeks I don't reach my goals, but I'm still doing a lot. And so one of my videos next year will be about that. But I hope you've enjoyed spending August 5th through December 19th with me and my family and this vlog. If so, let me know. I hope you will like, subscribe, have a wonderful holiday, and then come back in January, because I'm going to be documenting all the things to keep you motivated and inspired and feeling seen and going after your goals. So I will see you back here in January.